Good morning, everyone. It's Lindsey Huddleston with SPS back in the building for another SPS Monday Motivation. Coming off a great weekend. It was grind week, annual historic week, Michigan State basketball. All the alums come back. It was great being in the building, checking out those guys. Shout out to Tom Izzo on what he has established, a culture like none other. And then Michigan State got a great double overtime win, boy. It was a late night, 12-15. I was yawning up in the stands, man. But it was great for Michigan State football as well. Look forward to seeing the coach Jonathan Smith a little later on today. You'll see some posts about that to see what he's talking about preparing for week 3. But here we go. What is today's Monday motivation? It is titled Create Your Own Joy. That's right. Create your own joy. Some of y'all may be like, oh, Lindsey, I ain't trying to hear that, man. I ain't trying to hear that. Punch in the sky like Bernie Mac. Hey, but here's the thing. This is what you have to do. C.Y.O.J. You got to create your own joy. So let's define this word joy. And one thing I am consistently about is being very direct when it comes to defining words, because a lot of times we use terms interchangeably when they shouldn't be like that. It's really important when you focus on the meaning of a word. What is joy? Joy is a deep state of contentment and well-being, not dependent on external circumstances. That's very important. We'll talk about that dependency part a little later. And contentment is a funny word because in many cases, when you hear the word contentment, it sounds as if you don't want to move any further. But contentment is also saying, hey, I'm good with something. You can be good with something, and that's okay. Who do we have this morning? I got Miss Patricia England. Good morning. I'm up. Good morning, son. You up? Mom, I'm up too. I'm up. I'm fired up, ready for a great week because I'm creating my own joy. That was something that was in our household. Won't even say that we had everything, but boy, it felt like I lived in a castle growing up on Fielding, 19469 Fielding on Detroit West Side with Mother You there, creating such a great environment for Sean and I. Good morning, Michelle. Got Michelle Mimi Walkers in the morning. Hey, you got beat to the punch. You still get your star for attendance, but Mom showed up before you, Michelle. I know it's fine. I know you had something going on, but it's always so good to see you. And I got my guy Aaron Mays in the building. Aaron is here always representing. You guys want to see Aaron? Here's Aaron right here. What's up, brother? How you doing, man? Good morning. We're talking about creating your own joy. And the 3 people I have here so far, I know they can relate. Michelle says, AM, yes, sir, and gives me the hand clap. That's right. Michelle, it's so good. You already know how I feel about you. Appreciate you guys. But we're talking about creating your own joy, and that's part of the energy that I have this morning. And I define joy, and we talk about joy is different from pleasure. Okay, let's be very mindful because pleasure is temporary and external. We get pleasurable moments from the physical aspect when we're involved with somebody for something that we experience. We go to a game or an event, whatever it may be. But pleasure is temporary. But what I'm talking about, and psychology backs this up, is positive psychology defines joy as a sustainable, positive emotion that arises from within. Now, that's unique within itself. Sustainable. This can happen and last a long time. I don't want to take anything away from having a drink or whatever people like to indulge in, but those things aren't not necessarily sustainable. And if you're trying to have a sustainable relationship with any other external factor like a drug or something like that, it's just going to have a negative effect after a while, So I'm talking about something that's sustainable, that's derived from within. And why does joy matter? Why does it matter? Joy is linked to better resilience, stronger immune function, which is our body and our health, to be able to fight off disease and sickness, and improve mental health. It really does matter. And you got to be careful with this because depending on your surroundings, depending on who you are related to as it relates to who's in your business, in your face, and coming in and out of your life, somebody can say, what you so happy about? What's all that about? And they try to push back from that. So you have to be in a position that you could stand on your own with the joy that you are creating for yourself, right? When we curate joy, just like an artist or someone at an art gallery putting artwork together, we create a buffer against stress and anxiety. We create this buffer. When you create this joy, I'm not saying that your problems go away, but you create a buffer to manage the stress. We were just talking about stress last week. Aaron Mays says it's difficult to drum up consistently. That, brother, that's why I always love when you come share because you bring the reality. Let's keep it all the way funky. I didn't disagree with that. But that's why when you're able to do it, you got to stay in that place. It sounds like in your particular case, what you have to do is kind of just stand in the gap, Aaron. All you have to really focus is on the moment that you have, because you're right. It's funny. I'm going to switch to sports as an analogy, but we talked about Michigan State winning in double overtime. I know you can relate to football. You have to build that mental bandwidth. Jordan Hall, defensive back from Michigan State, said he said in the press conference after the game, post game, he said, we didn't have that ability a year ago. He said, we didn't have that ability to do that. So Aaron, what I'm telling you is, with your honesty and your authenticity and transparency, talking about how difficult it is to drum up that consistently, you have to just do it in the moment and not let yourself get too far ahead saying, can I sustain this? So all you got to do is say, let me do it now. Let me see what I can do now. Got Tino in the building. Tino says, good morning, Lindsey Huddleston. I have a natural high. I know you do, man. I know you have a natural high. But everybody's not in a position to have that. But staying with my guy, Aaron, I feel you, brother. I feel you. So all you can do is do it now. My question is, can you do that right now today? Can you do it in this time that we have? That's all we need to be concerned with. And then you take it step by step, and you can build that mental ability to stretch it out, that mental endurance, that mental bandwidth to do it. But that's a very honest response to a real thing. I appreciate you sharing that, my brother. We'll stay with that. Also, research shows that cultivating happiness practices directly improve life satisfaction. Cultivating happiness practices directly improve life satisfaction. So you got to work on that. I'm going to get to the if-then statement in a moment. Too many times we try to connect our happiness with something else. That's that trap of that external happiness, right? So here it is, guys. The common belief is I'll be happy when. That's the if-then statement. If this happens, then that. Job. I'll be happy when I get that job I want. I'll be happy when I get this money. I'll be happy when that relationship works. I'll be happy when I get recognized. See, those are too many factors relying on something else. See, this is when it comes down and you got to be in your own bag with yourself to be able to create that internal joy, because there's too many things that can go off the rails. There's too many things outside of your control that have to happen. And boy, that's a tough existence. Man, if only these other things have to happen to give you joy, you are disconnected from your real power. The power has to say, look, I'm going to have some joy myself if I just think about what I'll get from that. I'll think about what that relationship would be like. I can think about that. My boy Courtney Alexander says, true. Courtney, I wonder if we will have the benefit of next season when Jacob is playing for Illinois, that you guys are becoming Michigan State, man. But shoot, if it's a road game, I guess I got to get on the road. I got to get out there to see my guy, man. Congratulations to Jacob making the moves. Just congratulations to you, man. A great father, great friend, no doubt. But he's saying true. You hear what I'm talking about, right? Also, too, reliance on other things. That's a fragile happiness. You got to be careful with that. Even in your life, in your home, Courtney, I don't know if your significant others right there listen to you, but you can't rely on mama to make you happy all the time. Just like that, you can't rely on that. So many times in relationships, and I would dare say, women may say, well, he didn't make me happy. Well, it's not really on him, and you shouldn't put that on. I'll say the reverse. A man can say, man, I wasn't feeling her no more. They want to move on. We put this contingency on other people, and I ain't even right, because it's not really realistic. I got a couple responses. Let me see what we got right here. I got Courtney saying, my man, no doubt. That's fan right there. Jimmy Macon, Coach, what's good? Good morning, Hoss. How you doing, Coach? Keep doing great things. Coach of the week, I want to say, for Detroit Public Schools Community District, getting his proper recognition over there at Central. Enjoy seeing you guys for the SPS Edge high school preview. Also, psychology, self-determination theory. I've talked about this before, and that's been part of some of my thesis. True well-being comes from autonomy, competence, and connection, not external rewards. See, we have a very consumer-driven society. We say, man, if I get this, I'll be good with this. We think when we have these consumer type items, we'll be fulfilled, but that's very temporary. That's very fleeting, guys. You got to be able to do what? Curating that joy from within. Well, Lindsey, how do you do that? That kind of goes back to what I was talking about with Aaron, and maintaining gratitude from journaling, whether you're writing something down, which is always good because it connects a lot of the mental capacities and kind of help things go a little bit stronger and help you actually connect to the external world when it talks about manifesting things. But you can just go to your voice app on the phone and kind of say, hey, this is how I'm feeling today. This is what's going on. Mindfulness and meditation is very important to slow things down. We have a very fast-paced, digital-based world right now, but sometimes you got to slow it down and spend some time with yourself. And I know sometimes we don't want to spend time with ourselves, because the hardest thing for a man or woman to do is to sit alone in a room with their thoughts, because we're so afraid that the thoughts will just go, and we're concerned with what those thoughts will bring up. But mindfulness and meditation are very important. Acts of kindness. Yeah, I dare say it. What can you do for someone else? Boy, man, if you look at, social media, and I know that's not the end all be all, but just communication, things have become so transactional. And I'm the last one to say, don't get your money. I'm the last one to say don't get what you earn for the value that you have. But acts of kindness are very important. Small scale, lower scale, but those are some very rewarding things that you can take away. Also, pursuing your personal growth. What are you working towards? That's always been a big factor in me, for me personally, finding myself joy in my happiness, in my going towards my goals. Sometimes you get off track. Sometimes you got to take a break from something you're working on. But boy, when I get to thinking about getting back on it, it brings me so much joy. So I challenge you guys with that. And also I talk about being careful about the external surroundings. Because sometimes when you put off what this goal is, you get shot down, beat down, you get a negative response because people around you are kind of put off by it because it kind of puts it back in their face as far as where they're going. But pursuing a personal goal and your personal growth is very important. Also, joy becomes a habit, not an accident. Aaron, this is back to you. All we want to do is take this one step at a time today to make it habitual, right? And just keep working on it. And before you know it, I really believe you'll say, hey, I got it going, man. And I just say the whole time, don't look down at your feet as you're walking across that tightrope. Just stay in the moment going forward. Also, the power of self-reliant joy, guys, right? When joy comes from within, you are unshakable regardless of the circumstances. You know what I'm saying? It's always, my mother taught me a lifelong lesson. Hey, there's always going to be something. That's not to say that, hey, rain is always imminent, but hey, things happen. But you want to become unshakable regardless of the circumstance. Like I said, it doesn't erase the challenges that you have, but it gives you the ability to go forward with them. My brother, Coach Jimmy Maker says, must take time out with a mental break daily for yourself no matter what. You say no matter what. I like that, Coach. You say no matter what. Take a moment for yourself. So many times we let other things happen. I missed this comment from my mom. Mom said, don't let no one steal your joy. That sounds like my mama growing up. Say, ain't nobody better than you. Don't let nobody steal your joy. And though it may sound cliche, these are very important because you can have this internal joy going on and you get around these joy thieves, right? These JTs, right? We got all these nicknames and initials out here for talking about stuff. Talk about these JTs. What, a joy thief? Who's that? Oh, old JT over there. What's that? Old joy thief. That's right. We came up with a comment today. It came from my mama. Yeah, watch out for them joy thieves. When my brother Aaron come back and say this, definitely a marathon, not a sprint. Thanks for the advice. You got it, brother. You said, now quit saying my name, Lindsay. You said it. I got you, brother. I got you, man. It is definitely a marathon going forward. Courtney said, must be able to party by yourself. Whoa. Party by yourself. Come on, Courtney, drop that on us, huh? And not be afraid. I got to party by my, because you know what? You party by yourself. You know you're going to have a good time. You know you're going to be all right. You know it's going to be good to go. Got to party by yourself. That's my brother Courtney right there, man. I appreciate that, right? Also, guys, what else we got with this time? We have relationships become healthier. You don't have to depend on others to complete you. Courtney just said it. You got to party by yourself. You get so connected that, man, this person fulfills me. This person makes me whole. But you have to be able to find peace within yourself to be that for other people. And I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's going to come with the quickness, right? Also, greater freedom and authenticity. That's what you get when you create this joy. Freedom and authenticity. That's important. Also, Viktor Frankl in the book, Man's Search for Meaning. Meaning and inner strength can be found even in suffering. I just saw, a quick blurb on social media talk about we grow from suffering, but we don't want to hear that because who wants to suffer? But the reality is that when you're going through something, recognize that I'm going to have some growth on the other end. So what do I have as we wrap up this week's challenge? I want you to identify 3 practices that consistently spark joy for you. Mine is, giving and being authentic with individuals, being able to share, things that could be helpful. And what's another thing? Just working on my self goals. I mean, those are a few things right there. Had nothing to do with anybody else as far as what I needed in return from them. When you talk about giving and helping, right? Also, commit to them daily without waiting on others to provide help. You can't wait. Let's say I don't hate on nobody and I don't wait on nobody. I repeat that. I don't hate on nobody and I don't wait on nobody, right? Also, remind joy is not found, it's curated. This is not something that's going to fall in your lap. You have to curate that, and then you have to curate it, then you have to nurture it. Those are the things that we need to talk about. What I have right here before we go, we got Brother John Harris, relevant information. Sure, thank you, Brother Harris. Always coming in with a positive word. I hope you're doing well. Well, folks, we're going to get this Monday started. I'm going to get over to the gym, get a workout in. We'll see Coach Jonathan Smith later on today, talk about what things look like going forward. JT, Mom says she love that, right? Wait a minute, go back. Mom say, love that. Yep, JT's. We figured something out. Joy Thief. My boy Court say 100. So with that, folks, we're going to wrap this up. We'll keep it moving. Nothing but love. You go be all right, because if you said it, you can be it. With that being said, folks, this is Lindsay, host of SPS. We'll see you next time. Peace.